for 7 years, if you don't count the Golden Globes. Which you shouldn't. The Golden Globes, very different. Oh, God, different vibe. 200 million people watching around the world. And it's live, you know, big thrill. But with that many people watching, there comes a bit of stick. Everyone's different. Everyone's a blogger. Everyone goes, I was offended. Oh. Why? He said an horrible thing. We said loads of horrible things. Yeah, but that was a thing that I care about. And that's the thing about offence, isn't it? It's about feelings, and feelings are personal. I don't care about the so-called backlash, you know, comedian in hot water. Ooh, you know. But my girlfriend Jane, she does worry a bit, and she reads things. Oh, why are they? What have you said? Why? I go, don't worry about it. They're not coming to the house. Fuck them. So I wind her up. I pretend I'm going to say much worse things than I ever would. You know. Think of that. I have to make up worse jokes than I actually just to scare my girlfriend. So when I'm doing the Golden Globes, we go out about a week before. It's in LA. We fly out, right? And I'm writing jokes as the ceremony approaches. And, you know, they release sort of more presenters. And I take my pick. I go, oh, yeah, I've got a good intro for them. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Mel Gibson. Yeah, I'll introduce him. Yes. And about 3 days before this last one, right, just to wind Jane up, I said, oh, I've got a good intro. She went, what? I said, Bill Cosby would make our next presenter sleep on the couch. Please welcome Helen Mirren. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. She went, you're not going to do it? I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Next day, I got her again. I said, is this too much then? I said, not even Bill Cosby carries enough tranquilizer to bring down this next magnificent beast. Please welcome Melissa McCarthy. I didn't do it. I'd never tell a joke like that. It's horrible. I was just doing it to annoy Jane. I'd never even think of that. So don't... Even on the day, on the way to the red carpet, we're in the limo, just to wind her up, I said, oh, I'm going to start off with a funny little one-liner, just an old-fashioned joke. She went, oh, what? I said, what did the deaf, dumb and blind orphan get for Christmas? And Jane went, I don't know. I said, cancer. I didn't do it. So you're getting offended at a joke that doesn't exist. So I'd never say that in public. So to anyone who mattered. Anyway, so don't... As it was, I didn't have to worry about offending anyone, because it just happens, so... I've been looking into infant mortality rates recently. For research. It's not a fucking fetish. Like... A child born today in the UK has a percentage chance of survival of 99.8%. Which is incredible. I thought, is that just the mollycoddled West? And I was putting in third world countries. And even in Africa, it's like 96.5%. In the wilds of Africa, where everything wants to fucking eat a newborn baby, babies are vulnerable enough, aren't they? In Africa, a baby can be born in a mud hut. There's a lion outside. It's covered in blood because they can't wash it. They've got no water. Oh, and it's already got AIDS. Now, by the time that joke goes on Netflix... It'll be nuanced. There'll be an underlying satirical point, I'll claim. But until then, all I've got is, baby's got AIDS. I know that it's funny. I just have to work out why. Leave it with me. Leave it with me. Also, by the time that goes on Netflix, I'd have been playing arenas around the world. It'll be hitting hard, people will be laughing. So if you are an African woman and you just had a baby in Africa and the doctor goes, oh, I'm sorry, your baby's got AIDS. You go, oh, my God, you're there. You know, our little baby's got... You're there with your husband and you go, oh, our baby's got AIDS, Jeff. Jeff. I know, Tracy, I'm gutted too, darling. Our baby's got AIDS. Oh, should we watch some comedy to cheer us up? Yeah. What, Netflix? Yeah. What, Ricky Gervais? Duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And it gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, what why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. I think we get our sense of humour from our parents, whether we realise it or not, particularly working class kids, particularly from working class mums, because they're busy, they're doing everything, they're keeping men in check, they're bringing up kids, they're going to work, they're saving the world, they haven't got time, they have to frighten their kids into behaving well, they have to go to dark places to shock them into not fucking dying, do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day, and I went, I don't like them, my mum would go straight to, of course you do, there's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death, right? And I go, Jesus, all right, you know what I mean? The true story, I was 7 years old, right, and I'd been playing in the park, and I came running in, and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident, right? And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like, oh, what? That's a fucking thing, is it? That's a... I didn't sleep for a week. And it worked. I never went in those fucking toilets again. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know. At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd be like that, wouldn't it? Be like that. Gonna get a puppy here. I'm getting a puppy. I'm getting a puppy. Gonna get a puppy, eh? Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I cannot do it left-handed at all. Fucking hell, come on. Have you been drinking? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Now. Oh. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, fuck me. Oh, what sort of puppy is it? A what? A Labrador? Throw in a kitten, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll go over like that. Kitten, puppy, come. Oh, I miss the local pedo. Don't you? There was always one, wasn't there? Outside the school, you'd be with your mum and she'd go, look, there's a paedophile. Because he had the uniform of the pedo. You know what I mean? You could spot, old bloke, bald on top, long down the side, like that. And I'll go, that's a dirty pedo. Say hello, 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 like that. Dirty, look, that's what a fucking pedo looks like. Dirty fucking paedophile, right? That's what they look, if he touches you, we'll burn his house down. It was a good system, you know what I mean? But then Michael Jackson comes along and he breaks the mould, doesn't he? Because he's not an ugly bloke outside the school. I'm not saying Michael Jackson definitely was a paedophile. No one knows, only Michael and all those people he paid off. All I'm saying is that kids loved Michael. Kids loved Michael just to look at him, like a little Disney cartoon, wasn't he? And then his voice, hello, you know, that... oh, Michael Jackson go up to any kid he wanted. Probably knows like that, didn't he? Probably like that. That's another thing. Kids would go, there's Michael Jackson, but he's going away from us. He wasn't. He was going towards them. But people don't care, because he's so good. Right? He's so good. He's so popular as well. I think if he'd have lived to stand trial, he'd have beaten the rap, because everyone loves him. And he'd be so vulnerable in court as well, wouldn't he? He'd be there like that. And the judge would go, Michael, did you fiddle all those kids? And he'd go, hee. Judge would go, Case it, get out of here, you scam. Go on. Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope no one was offended. No, I really do, because that's never the point. I've always wanted people to know they can laugh at bad things without being bad people. And I think it's my upbringing. As I say, I grew up in poverty with nothing, right? But the point was to pay your way, then have a laugh. That was the men. The women carried on working, obviously. But it was my older brother, Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it, and people were laughing, and I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much everything was. Just to see if he could break this poor man's will. Right? And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument, though, right? And he teased my mum, and... So, my mum was a typical working-class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had, like, a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the fence, she turfed the garden herself, she painted the step, because she thought, if it looked respectable, we'd be respectable. So it was about reputation, I guess. And so Bob would send her postcards that just read, is that paedophile postman still reading your mail? And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified. And she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, my mum died first, and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, OK, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar, so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert, Bob, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Larry. Now, Larry is the oldest. He's in his 70s, born in the war, right? I've always thought he was the sensible one, OK? I suppose firstborn, weight of the world on his shoulders. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets down. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we snort like that, right? Bob sort of goes, everyone realised what's that, we were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like, every time we thought of it, we'd see Larry go, right? And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar wouldn't know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying, and I'd come prepared, right, with a little packet of those tissues. I was giving them those, and they were taking one and handing it on. But before the funeral, I'd taken all the tissues out, written on them, carefully folded them back and put them in. So they were pulling out a tissue and it said, snivelling fucking bitch, right? And they're sort of laughing, right? So it was like a madhouse, right? Everything the vicar said on the emotions. They expect everyone to care about their thing as much as they do, right? And it's why the world's getting worse. And the world is getting worse. Don't get me wrong, I think I've lived for the best 50 years of humanity. 1965 to 2015, the peak of civilization, for everything, for tolerances, for freedoms, for communication, for medicine. And now it's going the other way a little bit. The last couple of years, just a little blip maybe, right? And I'm not saying this just because I'm old, because that does happen. Old people say things like, oh, everything was better when I was a kid. Well, of course it was, you were a kid. Everything's better when you're a kid, right? Being old is the shit bit. Whatever's happening in the world, being old is the... I wake up these days and I go, oh, fuck, I didn't die. Got to do it all again. I'm usually hungover, headache, liver pains. I can't walk for the first 5 minutes because I've got no joints in the knees, right? I'm getting fat again now, right? Now, I was thin till I was about 28, like proper skinny, like 9.5 stone, right? Then I got a job, right? And the next sort of 20 years were what I call my eating years, right? And I just got steadily fatter and fatter till I reached a peak of unwellness and blobbiness when I was about 48 years old. And it was one Christmas, I was at home, lying on the floor, right? And I was saying to Jane, I'm having a heart attack, right? And honestly, my heart rate was like 130. I felt nauseous. I had palpitations. I was sweating because I'd eaten 11 sausages. True story, right? I was like one of them snakes. You know when you see a big, like, python swallow a pig whole, and then it's just fucked. It's just like, for a week, it's like a duffel bag, just there. That was me, right? And obviously I wasn't having a heart attack, but it worried Jane. She said, you've got to start looking after yourself. I thought, yeah, you're right, 48. So I started working out, right? I started working out every single day. I didn't give anything up, right? I don't eat meat anymore, but I was having like 2,500 calories, 3,000 calories a day, including wine every night, right? But I burnt it off the next day. Just so I could do all that, I worked out for an hour and a half every day, running, weight training. I had more time on my hands than the average person. I had a gym built in my house. I had no excuse. And I lost about 20 pounds, and it was great. But now, I still eat and drink too much, right? But I physically can't burn off the calories. I can't do enough because I'm so old and broken and tired. So I'm going to get steadily fatter and fatter again. And this time, I am going to die. I'm losing the hair. It's getting really thin. I know it looks great for their cheers, but no, honestly, in a lift, right, with that light directly overhead and the mirror, it looks like an X-ray, right? I'm going to have to buzz that off soon. I'd never wear a wig. Oh, my God. Guys, if you wear a wig or a toupee and you think you've got away with it, you haven't. Everyone knows. Everyone knows immediately. My brain knows a wig has come into the room before I do, right? I could be at a party or something and it'll go, there's a wig in here. I go, is there? Yes, there is. Yeah. Spidey senses for the wig. It's only a little bit of the way they smile at you like there's nothing wrong. Telltale signs, isn't there? I was put off wigs for life, though, by my Uncle Reginald. A great bloke. He's dead now. Died a few years ago, right? I was only little, right? But he went bald in his 20s, tragically bald. I mean, he started to go bald and his hair fell out. It might have been something. It might have been alopecia or something. I don't know. But he was bald for 10 years, into his 30s, right? Turns up one day at our house, Elvis. What is... like... And I remember I was about 8, and I said to Auntie Edna, what happened to Uncle Reginald? And she went, it was a miracle. They were lying. They were just hushing. It was ridiculous. Everyone knew he was bald, right? But he'd embroiled his family in on the lie, so they had to lie as well. They're going, yeah, just grew back. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And there's so many things he wouldn't do because he was terrified of the wig coming off, right? We weren't allowed balloons at parties, right? Auntie Edna said, yeah, Reg is allergic to balloons. He wasn't allergic to balloons. He was terrified one of us kids would rub one on our sweater, right? And his wig would fly across the room. We've got photos of him in the family album, right? And if he's at a wedding or a christening and he's holding a baby, he's always holding it at arm's length, like that. So he can't grab his wig. It must have been on his mind all the time, right? It was the only thing he feared, that wig coming off in public, and this ridiculous lie being exposed. He was in the army, he was hard as nails, wasn't scared of anyone or anything, spiders, snakes, roads, wasn't scared of cancer. How's the chemo going, Uncle? Not a problem. We got a photo of him, the last year, I think. He was 75, yeah, must have been his last year he was alive, right? And it was a hot day, and he was in the garden in his little trunks, right? And he was a wizened little man by then, and white chest hair, jet black wig still. Died in it, buried in it. He's wearing it now. A little skeleton with jet black hair, right? Like Posh Spice for eternity, right? But I knew all that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get old and fat and ill and blind and deaf and shit myself and be pushed around in a fucking bucket, right? But you're ready for that because you're warned. You know everything about getting old, right? Well, one thing they don't talk about, and so you're not prepared, and it was a shock to me, right? I only found out about it recently, and I'm going to share it with you now. The distending testicles. I didn't see. You don't know about it, right? But it happens in your 50s, right? I wasn't checking them or anything, but I didn't see them for 20 years, right? But all I know is, as a young man, they were pert, and now they're like two plums in a sock, right? I don't know when it happened, but it was recently, right? They just, and this is how I found out, right? So as I've been getting older, and they've been secretly stretching away, right? As I've been getting older, I've been getting richer, so my baths have been getting more and more luxurious, right? And last year, I moved into a new house in Hampstead, right? I had a big bath, a big sunken bath. Oh, south-facing windows. I was in there, like, the first night. Like, oh, lovely bath. Sun streaming in, classical music on. I thought, this is the life. I looked down, and they're floating, right? Now, I'd never dreamt that testicles would float. They seem like they'd be heavy, don't they? You could tie things down with them. They'd sit, do you know what I mean? And most people never see there. Like in the sea, you've got trunks on. In a shower, they dangle. And baths aren't usually that deep. And that was my first thought. Oh, my God, I never thought testicles would float, right? And then my second thought kicked in, which was, hold on, this bath's 2 feet deep, right? And I'm sitting on the bottom and they're at the top. What is going on? And I looked and my testicles are now longer than my penis, right? Easily, by some way, right? In fact, they'd created like a little fleshy sort of life raft, right? My penis was dry, just nestled, just floating on top, like that. Just bouncing around. I should have given it a little whistle. No, but I'm just looking at this thing, this is bizarre, fucking hell, right? And I thought maybe it's a fluke. So to test it, I held them under the water for a minute, and I let them go, and they bobbed up. They're really buoyant, right? So you try it when you get home, if you're in your 50s, right? And a man, obviously. Or Caitlyn Jenner. But the world is getting worse. It's very sad. But we all die. We all know we're going to die. And we all do die. So it doesn't really matter if we die one at a time along the way or all at once in one big final Armageddon. The result is we're all going to be dead one day and we're all going to be dead forever. And I've been to a lot of funerals in my time. You live this long, you know a lot of people, they die, right? And I don't mind funerals because it's the end. You know what I mean? I hate weddings. Oh, fucking, it's so much hope. You know what I mean? And they're needy and arrogant. It's out. They go, oh, do you want to come and watch us for 12 hours? No, fuck no. Even the invite is arrogant, isn't it? It's like a royal decree. You are cordially invited. It's not a fucking honour. I don't want to go to your shitty wedding. Do you know what I mean? And then you go, oh, right, yeah, when is it? And they go, 2 years' time. They know you haven't got an excuse for 2 years' time. So you just have to hope that one of them dies, right? And so you go, oh yeah, I'll be there, yeah, where is it? And they go, India. Oh, fuck off. I'm not having injections for you, you boring bastards. And I've got a big family now, a big extended family, and there's always one of them getting married, and they know I've got a bit of cash, so I can't give them a tea set anymore. I've got to get them their first fucking house. You know what I mean? I've got a big family because I had older brothers and sisters, and they all had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, and their kids have had loads of kids, because we're chavs, basically. There's a new baby every Christmas. It's one of those families. You know what I mean? I go home, it's crowded. I go, oh, who's this? That? Oh, yours? Oh, well done. I don't know him, I don't know her. You know what I mean? It's like... But what I've done over the last couple of years, I've got them each individually, right, in private, and I've told them that I'm leaving my entire fortune to just them, right? But to keep it secret. So they all love me, right? And I'm not doing a will, so my funeral is going to be a fucking bloodbath. I'm at that age now where people ask me what I've got planned for my funeral. Even journalists say, oh, what's your funeral? I go, no, I haven't planned it. They go, no, I go, no, it's fucking depressing. Also, I don't care. I'll be dead. They go, don't care about what people think of you. No, I'll be dead. They go, what about your legacy? Fuck my legacy. You can't plan your legacy. I think of all these people who died thinking they'd be loved forever. Eminent people going, there is a statue of me in the town square. And now they're pulling down the statues, aren't they? Going, pull down this fucking statue. Why? He was a slave trader. Pull down the fucking statue. He built the hospital. Should we pull that down? No, leave the hospital. Leave the hospital. Just pull down the fucking statue. Pull down the statue and dump it in the canal. He built the canal as well. It doesn't matter, just pull down the fucking statue. I don't think you should whitewash history. If you find out something new, add to it. Like if there's a statue and it's got Lord Whimsy, trader, philanthropist, add bit racist. Or one of those blue plaques on a house, go, Sir Robert Spuke lived here. Author, poet, pedo. I'm at that age where I'm glad we haven't got a Harold Shipman knocking round. Do you know what I mean? Those of you too young to know who Harold Shipman is, right? He is our most prolific serial killer, right? He killed 300 people. He killed old people. That's my point. He'd have his eye on me, go, oh, give him a few more years. And he was a doctor, right? But the reason you haven't heard of him, right, is because he never appears in those lists of the worst serial killers. And he was... like one of the worst ever, but he didn't act like a serial killer, right? He was a GP, he was old school, he had a little shirt and tie, little tweed jacket, little beard, little glasses, he'd do house visits, he'd go around to see Edna, 85, you all right, Edna? Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please. And he'd make Edna a lovely cup of tea, right? They just put her in a lethal amount of opioids, right? And he'd just give Edna the tea and watch her drink it and fall asleep and die. And that was it. He didn't even masturbate. You know, yes, it is a waste, sir, yeah. And they reckon he got the idea when he was a little lad, Harold Shipman, little Harold Shipman. He watched his mum dying of lung cancer, being given morphine, and somewhat triggered him. He thought, I'll grow up, become a doctor, and I'll do this. I don't know whether it means that he liked the way the morphine got his mum out of pain. So these were like mercy killings, like, you know, reliving the kindness. Or the opposite, he was jealous of old people who lived longer than his mum should have, so he was punishing them. I don't know, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because if you can really understand why someone does something like that, you might spot the signs in the future and stop a crime before it happens, you know. I always think that when there's a school shooting in America, right, it's usually some emo, right, who goes into a kindergarten, kills about 30 toddlers, turns the gun on himself, right? And all the eyewitnesses, they always say the same thing. They go, oh, he was a loner, he sat at the back, he was shy, he was bullied. Let's round those cunts up now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, go into a school, see who the bullies smashing up, right? Go, I'll take it from here, mate, thank you, right? And drag that little dweeb off to Borstal or jail or so. Go to the bully, go and find another one. You know what I mean? He's doing a great job, but we need more. But they're beating up future child killers. You get obsessed with crime and punishment as you get older. I've always been pretty interested. I studied philosophy at university, and a big part of that is morality. And I've always been against the death penalty. Right? I was a young liberal and I was really anti the death penalty. And now I'm an old liberal. And I'm still anti the death penalty, but now I love it when someone gets killed doing something they shouldn't at the time. Like, you see a bloke in Brazil, a hostage video, he's got a young girl, he's got a gun to her head, and he goes, "You won't take me alive, copper." And then the marksman just takes out his brainstem. Oh, I love that. Pause, rewind, all right? Or when a bullfighter gets gored to death. That is my favourite, right? Particularly when the horn goes up the arse. That, I call that a hole in Juan. Thank you. Or those videos coming out of lawless New York. You see them on Instagram and YouTube. It's someone with an iPhone. He's got someone, right, he's knocking over this little convenience store. He's got a fucking hoodie and a knife, and he's nicking all the booze. He doesn't care he's being filmed. He's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. Then, from behind the counter, comes a little 70-year-old Korean man who batters him to death with a broom. I fucking love that. I can't wait to be a 70-year-old vigilante. Just walking round Hampstead with a walking stick. Oh, but it's a sword. I paint it white as well to look even more vulnerable, right? Wear dark glasses. I'd see a gang of youths. I'd go over to them and go, so, excuse me, guys, do you know where the Nike store is? I want to buy some Air Jordans with all this cash. And as they go for it, "You little fucking cunts." But the death penalty is not like that, is it? It's not in self-defence, it's not in the heat of the moment, it's cold justice, you know? Don't matter what you've done, you could have murdered people, you know? You stand trial, they find you guilty, they put you on death row, sometimes for 10, 15 years, which seems unnecessarily cruel, and then they murder you in front of witnesses. And it's from the Bible. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The state says you murdered someone, so we're going to murder you. But if you rape and murder someone, you still only just get murdered. That's a loophole, isn't it? That's like... That smacks of misogyny to me. That's like the judge going, "The rape was free, but we're going to..." You know what I mean? Just once, I want the judge to go, "Right, you raped and murdered someone, so you're going to be taken from here to a place where you'll be hung by the neck and raped." What, at the same time? Yes, yes. We got loads of volunteers with dildos, right? So he sort of goes down, fuck off, fuck off. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, I know. Oh. It might work. But the longer you live, the grumpier you'll get. It's not just going to happen to me, it's going to happen to all of you. Because the longer you live, the more shit you see. And you go, "Oh, fuck, this again, right? And the more burden you carry. And the older you get, the weaker you get, so the burden gets heavier. And you go, "Oh, God, this again." And you can't die nowadays. You know what I mean? You go, "Oh, thank God, I'm dying. Oh, fuck, I'm back." You know what I mean? They can transplant every organ now. Whatever's got... Transplant every organ. Not your brain. That wouldn't make sense. You are your brain. So that would be an everything else transplant, wouldn't it? But I'd sign up for that. I don't care about this. It's to get this round. If I could leave £1 million to science, so when I died, suppose I died, my body's crushed, killed instantly, but my head's intact. They keep that on ice, wait for a body donor. Some poor bloke gets his head crushed, put my head on his body, and I'm back. I know. Statistically, I will get a bigger penis as well, so... The odds are in my favour there, trust me. I wake up in the future, I see the scar and I go, "Oh, that's all right." You know what I mean? I go, "Oh, you've always wanted a big knob?" I go, "Yeah, I've always wanted a big knob." I go, "Let's have a little bit of me time." So and I start, but then every time I look down, I go, "Oh, that's not my knob." Do you know what I mean? I go, "Oh, that's not my knob. Oh, that's not my knob." It's not my hand either, carry on. It's like, you know what I mean? I was doing an interview a while ago. I don't think the journalist liked me. He asked me this question. I thought it was rude, right? So I gave a fake answer, right? He said, "So what have you got planned for your funeral?" And I went, I want to be fed to the lions at London Zoo." He went, "Really?" I went, "Yeah. I want the zookeeper
to take up my big, fat, dead, naked, bloated body in a wheelbarrow, right? Just dump it in the lion's den, doof, like that. Loads of tourists going, is that the bloke from the office? Like that, right? And then 2 big lions come out and just start eating me. And lions, they start with the soft bits of the body to get inside to the rib cage. So they'd probably get a testicle each, wouldn't they? Because that'd be the easiest of it. By then, my testicles would be about a yard apart, so that'd be easy. They just start eating towards me. Like Lady and the Tramp, really romantic. So I said that as a joke, but he totally believed me. So much so that when he was writing up the article, he called London Zoo and asked them if that would be allowed. And they said, no, of course not, right? So when the article came out, the headline was, London Zoo refused Ricky's request to be fed to lions. Like I'm a fucking psychopath. My point is, you can't worry about what happens after you die. Don't live your life, let someone else worry about it. You're dead, you've done your bit, right? I know some people who really are stressed about what happens after they die, some religious people, and they believe in heaven and hell and all that. So now they're getting a bit, oh, have I been good enough? I mean, great, heaven's great, but hell, what if I go to hell? And I go, there's no hell. It's made up to frighten kids. Like, my favourite horror film of all time is still the original Exorcist, right? First time I saw it on VHS, right? I was blown away. I watched it again straight away. I loved it, right? And there's a bit in that that's meant to be the really poignant bit. And I laughed the first time I saw it because it was the idea of the devil being this crass and childish. You know the bit. So, the little girl's possessed by the devil, and they're doing an exorcism, and they're throwing holy water on it. She's hissing, right? They're going, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. And at one point, the devil makes the little girl turn her head round, and he makes her say, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Right? And the bloke, she said, he's devastated. He's like, because he's thinking, oh, no, that's the real devil. So he knows, so it's true, my poor mother sucking cocks in hell, right? If scientists actually found the devil, I was wrong. There isn't it. They found the devil, they tested him, it was peer-reviewed, it won the Nobel Prize for fucking everything, because it'd be the greatest discovery of all time, right? And I'd look at the science, I'd be mind-blown, but I'd go, well, you've got to follow the science. So, you know, yeah, I believe in the devil. I wouldn't even be belief, it would be knowledge. I'd want to meet him. If the devil actually existed, I'd want to see it from my... As long as I was safe, I don't know what makes you safe from the devil. But if he existed, we'd find out, wouldn't we? We'd, like, vampires live forever, but now we know a bit of garlic really fucks them up. So we discover something, like if you put a devil in a cage with a sprig of parsley on top, he's weak or something, right? And I'd meet the devil, right? And I go for an order, and I go, he'd be there. I go, are you the devil? He'd go, yeah, right? And then he tried to hurt my feelings. And that was his best shot. And he went, Rick, I go, what? He goes, your mother sucks cocks in hell. I go, I don't care. One, she's dead. Two, she was heterosexual. Three, she never had her teeth in towards the end. So, no. But it's hell. Think of all the terrible things that could be happening to her. Being raped by red-hot pokers, rats eating her eyes. My mum gets cock duty. Go on, girl. That has got to be one of the better jobs in hell. Isn't it? It's like... terrible job on earth. I've never sucked a cock in my life. I never will. But if I died and I'm in hell, right, tortured for eternity, I'd see the first cock, I go, I'm on this. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'd be looking round seeing people skinned alive. I'd chow down. I'd be looking over the big man going, I'm doing a great job here, leave me on this. And then... there's the devil with a clipboard looking a bit confused. No one's ever gone straight for the cock. But he goes, OK, carry on. Emotions. They expect everyone to care about their thing as much as they do, right? And it's why the world's getting worse. And the world is getting worse. Don't get me wrong, I think I've lived for the best 50 years of humanity. 1965 to 2015, the peak of civilization, for everything, for tolerances, for freedoms, for communication, for medicine. And now it's going the other way a little bit. The last couple of years, just a little blip maybe, right? And I'm not saying this just because I'm old, because that does happen. Old people say things like, oh, everything was better when I was a kid. Well, of course it was, you were a kid. Everything's better when you're a kid, right? Being old is the shit bit. Whatever's happening in the world, being old is the... I wake up these days and I go, oh, fuck, I didn't die.
Got to do it all again. I'm usually hungover, headache, liver pains. I can't walk for the first 5 minutes because I've got no joints in the knees, right? I'm getting fat again now, right? Now, I was thin till I was about 28, like proper skinny, like 9.5 stone, right? Then I got a job, right? And the next sort of 20 years were what I call my eating years, right? And I just got steadily fatter and fatter till I reached a peak of unwellness and blobbiness when I was about 48 years old. And it was one Christmas, I was at home, lying on the floor, right? And